Okay, so basically, this is going to be one of the more advanced strategies to find these hidden winning odd products and niches and even not so odd products. And what we're going to be using is the Alibaba search directory. This is going to be your guaranteed way to find something that is going to work. If you put in the time, it's just going to work. Like, it's impossible not to find something if you use this. But let me show you exactly how we're going to use this. So first, it's very similar kind of to the eSniper tutorial, but it's also going to be a little bit more in depth. So right now we're going to be looking through the directory, and it's going to have a lot of links, a lot of categories, a lot of niches, and you'll see that in a minute. And so we're going to be, yes, clicking on those links to see like, oh, what is this? Like, what is this product? What is this niche? And so we're going to analyze a little bit of it. And then, of course, we're going to then search on Google. So once we search on Google, this is when we're going to be implementing another video right after this, where I'm going to show you how we're going to use the Google search filters. This is going to help us filter through the searches, and I'm also going to show you how we're going to analyze what are the best products in this based on how high they're ranking. If they're ranking a little bit higher, that means they have a higher CTR and all that other good stuff. That means it's most likely more of a higher demand product. And then we're gonna, of course, cross-check it with saturation. But anyway, I don't wanna get too ahead of myself. What we're gonna be covering is how we're gonna be using the directory, looking at the products, and then after we're gonna double cross-check it by using some Google filters, and then of course, a couple other things. So first, right now, all we have to do is actually just go to Alibaba.com. But then after that, we go hover over here to categories, scroll all the way down, and just click on all categories. This is going to take us to everything that literally China has. I mean, it's pretty close. But what's going to be very unique is that it already labels everything for us. All these weird products, because none of these suppliers are going to make things that don't sell. They are only making products that are most likely to sell. That's all they care about. And so you're going to obviously have like a big umbrella. Okay, everything agriculture and food. And then you're going to have subsets of what this is. Now, let me just quickly backtrack. No, we're not going to be selling anything in agriculture and food. But my point is that all of these things sell for one reason or another. But it's our job to find the things that would sell really, really well with the least amount of effort on Google. That is our job, and this is going to make it so much easier because there are a ton of things that I would have never, ever found ever. So like one of them is actually like mannequins. Like mannequins is actually a really weird niche that is very popular, and especially among business owners. A lot of business owners actually have to buy mannequins in bulk because they have clothes and they have to put it up in their store. In fact, I bought a mannequin because when I had my custom boxers, I needed pretty much a product video of the custom boxers, and mannequins was definitely the best route for that. So there's a whole bunch of other subsets in this, and so I actually kind of want to show you some of the best industries. So actually this one is a very good subset or niche or industry to look into. I mean, literally look into all of these, and I'm gonna show you the examples of things that I clicked on, but I'm gonna give you a quick overview. This one I really want to highlight. I don't know anything about cars. Truthfully, like the only reason why I want to highlight this is because in the auto industry, many of them only can sell on Google. Google is their main traffic and profit kind of engine. However, I know a lot of them do not understand Google still. And so if you can understand and get motivated about like auto parts and everything, this is a great industry to go into and figure out which auto parts you would sell. I'm not a big car guy. I don't really know much about cars, but I like nice looking cars, but I have no idea what's inside of them. So if you know anything about that, I would actually say this is not a bad idea to go into. So of course you have, you know, all these accessories and everything, like that's great. Especially, hang on, handbags. I really like these. Honestly, I would really go into like any of them. Just let me just show you a couple of them that I picked right after. But one of them that I really wanted to highlight down here was service equipment. So I thought something that was really funny. I literally went to all the way on the bottom. And before I forget to kind of show you guys this little trick, make sure to always click View More. View More is going to show you a lot more results right here. and they're results that a lot of other people wouldn't have found. So if you just click view more, boom, you see all of these new results. Now, if I go to service equipment, which is now over here, I actually found, which is kind of crazy, but funeral supplies. The funeral industry is very, very big because eventually everyone goes through this. So over here, you actually have caskets. There's over 90,000 people searching for caskets, which is insane. Now, what's even crazier is that you only have a handful of companies selling these. And if I went over here and I typed in, actually, let me just see if they already have it right here. Look at this. Popular new finish. Like this one looks pretty decent, right? We can kind of see how the design looks. Look how similar that looks to some of these. It's almost identical. And so this is just one example I found, like not even kidding, in 10 minutes. And I've been through this directory a lot of times and I just never came across this. So it might be worthwhile to going over it a couple days. So if I click on this, Divine Caskets, we'll see that their website is honestly just like terrible. There is no selling on this. This is like exactly what you do not want to do. And what's even worse, they're selling a high priced item for sure, but the picture, there's only one photo. So this is an extremely opportunistic industry for sure. I mean, 90,000 searches, and it doesn't look like anyone's really capitalizing on this. Now, however, I will say, you know, if you're gonna sell a higher ticket item, I'll be honest, it's a little bit more advanced. Personally, I would sell a more lower ticket item, which I'm gonna show you more examples of. But still, the idea of this, it still applies as a good opportunity. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, let's go over here. So I clicked on what was, I don't even know how to say this word. It's lacquerware, I think. This is a unique kind of design style that a lot of people are apparently searching for. Over 4,000 people are searching for this kind of style of design. It's a very unique niche, and why I wanted to highlight it is because design and artistic things have higher value. So if you can really hit on an emotional product like this, the value kind of increases a little bit, and your margins are typically a lot better. However, I don't know if this is a good industry or not, but it is an industry I would have never found, and it might actually be a good one to look into. Now, another thing I was looking at and I clicked on randomly was blenders. Now, usually I don't recommend selling just generic products like, you know, a blender. However, it's pretty obvious, like the BlendJet, which I think everyone has heard about, you know, took off, and it was just selling these little blenders. And of course, there's thousands of blenders in the market. However, I also was like, okay, well, instead of just selling these dinky blenders like Vitamix or Vitamix, however you say it, they're huge and everyone knows of them. But are there people looking for alternatives? So then I went and I was like, Vitamix alternative. And I was like, there are. There's over 1,000 people already just typing this in regularly on an alternative to this expensive blender. And so if you can find like a middle tier, like if you can sell a blender for $150 that looks very similar to the Vitamix and have a killer landing page, I would put my money on that, and I would say it would work. As long as you hit all the pain points, as long as you reassure that and make sure that it's actually going to be somewhat comparable, it could definitely work. Now, remember, this is just one example. You can do this across so many different industries. So don't take it as like, okay, I'm gonna go sell blenders. No, just understand that this is something that I do across different industries. Okay, I don't want to lead you guys astray. So hopefully you understand that. And then the next thing is, I found this category actually when I was literally searching down here. For some reason, it was literally just a category of bulletproof vests. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, like literally they made a specific category for this. So I looked into it, and it looks honestly like a pretty good industry. I kind of typed it in. I saw 135,000 searches a month. That's excessive. And I saw this company, Spartan Armor. So I clicked on these guys. We'll look on these guys. This is definitely an industry that I thought was kind of interesting to look into. As long as it's legal, I would definitely make sure that, you know, this is kind of legal to sell. But regardless, I mean, it looks like there's quite a few people selling this, and bullet safe. So I think actually this is interesting because we see that they only have tactical vests, bullet vests. Okay, let's see if they have any traffic. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this is actually a really good example, guys. Okay, so what I like to see, I mean, it doesn't really happen often, but if you could see something that a company is really focusing on one product, it looks very simple, and you see that they actually have traffic. A lot of the time, so what I'm using right now is SimilarWeb, and I'm going to be going over this in other videos, but this extension doesn't always show the traffic. Like, you're not always going to find a good website that also has a lot of traffic, but that's not to say that the website doesn't get any traffic. I have plenty of websites and this thing just doesn't show, but I have others that this thing does. So it's just kind of one easy way to really make sure that this website gets a lot of visitors. So this was another good industry, and like I said, it only took a couple minutes to find. A couple other ones that I mentioned, mannequin. We'll make sure that the mannequins are actually, we don't want to go into like an industry of like sex toys. That's definitely not something. I don't even actually. You can't sell that on Google. But I know that like I would really position the mannequins towards business owners. That's the angle I personally would choose. And then we have this kind of weird one, which was bamboo furniture. I know a lot of people are into kind of this style, and I personally have been recently furnishing my place, so I've been looking into more like furniture, and so that's been kind of top of mind. But I know people go really crazy over just buying a bunch of like new decor, and there's a lot of people addicted to this style. So this is a couple things that I found, and you can kind of understand where I'm going with this, right? But if I'm to recap, what are you supposed to do with this, right? Be like, all right, Charlie, what am I supposed to do with all this? Well, my recommendation is to just copy exactly what I did. What I do is I'll look at the top of these kind of lists and be like, okay, apparel, okay, this looks like at least something could be in here. And I'll go in here, ooh, okay, sportswear, open. Let's see, uniforms, okay, what kind of uniforms? Dancewear, okay, what kind? And I open. Then I go and I search on Google, right? Just how I've been showing you guys. And then I go into here, okay, open, and I'll go through at least a handful of these, search on Google, and see what's the opportunity like. Like if I'm to look at this right now, this doesn't look very opportunistic, but if I was to go a little bit more in depth and actually use the Google filters, which I'll show you guys in the next video, maybe I could find one item that is like the hottest item of lacquerware, and I could just sell that one item and simplify this and literally be a little tiny dot in this niche and be absolutely, just fine on profitability, right? And same thing with caskets. Like this is, honestly, I kind of feel bad for this example, but I mean, it is part of life. And it honestly is a huge industry that I totally forgot about. So this is a really interesting idea. The only issue I would have with this is shipping, right? So I would make sure that, how am I going to ship this? What would that look like? Actually, I think I know someone that is shipping very large items. And so what they do is they ship by sea. And it's actually not that bad. It's not that expensive at all. I mean, regardless, it looks like you can even work in your margins and get these caskets for not that expensive. And so since there's only a couple people here with terrible landing pages and they're surviving, that's a huge like green check mark. They did everything wrong and they're still profitable and advertising in a very high search volume environment. Right? So I don't want to make this video too long because now I want to show you the kind of other video on where we're going to be using the Google filters, and I'm going to be kind of pulling out specific examples. And I have an example in there with lower ticket products as well that I personally like a little bit more. So let me kind of get into that